Take Yourself and Make Yourself by gstk. Summary: the Gujier enjoys making a ruin of him. This time is no different than any other. The Gujier grips the base of his cock between her steely hand. When she pulls him in, she does not stop until the fine hairs between the dip in her legs tickle the base of his shaft. Yaeyato bites down on the knuckle of his right thumb, struggling to not surrender any sound. He knows it is only a matter of time before he is lost. He knows, when the Gujier's eyes flash like Sakura spitting in the dark, that he is soon to be conquered. You have such a fine voice, Yashiro Commissioner, she teases, plucking the hand from his mouth. She rubs softly at the indent of his teeth, left in the knuckle, observing the inconsequential mark with a smile. Must you really stand up propriety in front of me? And that is when she snaps her vicious fangs over the same knuckle, tearing a pained cry from his throat. That's better, she chuckles when she discards his hand, throwing it carelessly against his vest. Blood spills from the bite she's pierced through his skin, and it spreads across the fields of his white garments like a messenger in war. These clothes, he thinks distantly, will be utterly ruined. The Gujier enjoys making a ruin of him. This time is no different than any other. Far before he is ready, she begins to rock her hips. Yaeyato gasps into the breathless night when she raises up, groans again when she slams herself down. All of Gujier's gold ornaments flash and sparkle into lanterns that should have been doused hours ago. This is no hushed, clandestine meeting. The Guji is practically begging for them to be found. Her hips rule him. She rules him completely. He cannot add to her frenetic pace, not when the first hapless thrust he makes unbalances her, and his cock misses its target. The head of it grinding harsh against her folds. The Gujier exhales sharply. He watches the flush of color and dazzled pleasure in her eyes fade in seconds. She takes a hold of him again and repositions herself, and this time the thread of her nails scrape warningly at his balls. Stay still, dearest. You know it's best for us when you lay back and let me take care of everything. Yaeyato nods, hooking an elbow blindly against the dresser to his left. He is so uncoordinated that some of the things upon it jostle or fall over, but at this very moment he cannot care a bit. Her presence is ubiquitous and dominating. She tells him to give her his everything, and Yaeyato is a desperate supplicant. She begins again. Yaeyato watches the way his cock disappears inside the Guji, a sight quickly obscured by the dancing fabric of her shortened hakama. Her long sleeves are spread like a belt over his waist, and her fingers dig into the taut flesh of his stomach. This is how Gujier secures her place in the world, with hedonistic pleasure and someone else's pain. Ayato's eyes trace up her body. Her delicate breasts roll with each thrust, counterbalanced by the heavy flowers, and yet she wears his head Miko. He longs to run his hands over her body and feel the curves of her moving in time with him. He wants so badly to place an open mouth kiss to the very center of her chest. Before he's able to pull himself from longing thoughts, she has his chin in a vice grip. The Gujier drags his head upward, forcing Yaeyato to meet her eye. What's wrong? She coos, the thread implicit behind her smile. It's belied by the sweat starting to glisten at her temples. Are you imagining someone else with you? Even though I came all this way to be with you. She pauses for long enough that he understands. Yaeyato works his job and a small part of himself protests, wishes to go back in silence and obedience and total trust in the one before him. Never, Gucci, never. Then what were you thinking about? She persists. She is paused, seating him fully inside of her. Her expression betrays nothing. Before her, Ayato's scrambled thoughts and mounting lust feel foolish. He is mortal, insignificant, and that is the way of the world. Kissing you, he confesses. He knows she will laugh. Her nails scratch open the underside of his chin as she parts, carrying a thin rivulet of blood down her middle finger. She brings it to her lips, and her earrings jingle while she licks the digit clean. You're always so sentimental. How was it? I ever thought you were complex, honestly. I've never been complex, Ayato agrees. The emptiness is inviting him back. Its arms are warm and its walls are comforting. I am nothing before the. What's that? The Gougier sits angled above him, only the head of his cock inside of her now. She squeezes around it, playing with her clit. It's as if she hardly cares if he sees. Don't answer. I'm quite sure you have nothing valuable to offer. Yes, Gucci, he replies, purposefully, of course. To feel the harsh sting of her palm slapping his cheek, his ears ring, and his vision is full of stars. But the Gougier does not wait for his recovery before slipping him back inside. She is safe. She is his authority. She is only once removed from the ultimate power of his nation, the Electro Archon. If Kamisato Ayato cannot trust the mortal world, then he can trust in the absolute authority of his nation. He can trust the tightness of the Gucci's pussy, trust that he will touch her face every time as her tempo speeds, and he starts to cry out. I'm close, he warns. The Gucci glares down at him. You finish when I tell you to. But I cannot. You can, and you will. Yay. She laughs then. She laughs, warping her beautiful voice into a weapon to spear him through. The Gougier leans her weight onto his stomach, pushing forward. She is coming. So close, their lips brush, and you can see the dark violets that surround the pink cat's lip pupils in her eyes. You need me, she says. I need you, he pants. You are nothing without me. I am nothing without you, my You're pathetic! I am yours, Ayato groans, and he is no longer in control of himself. His hips thrust up in shallow thrusts, and he is coming. His seed spilling inside one of the most powerful kitsune to walk the lands of Inazuma. The Guji's breath hitches. Her eyes narrow when Ayato looks up, and she is stiff when he takes her in his arms. But he can feel the tightness in her too. He feels the rhythmic spasm of her walls, and suddenly he is kissing her as she falls into the waters of pleasure behind him. This time, the Gucci does not instruct him to lick her clean. She does not force him to swallow his own seed, or use his tongue to service her. Though her hands briefly from his back, she does not push open his own walls, jump-starting his heart with bursts of electro. Nothing, this long evening, is to her wont. There is a time where she lays against him, breathing harshly upon his hickey bruised neck. Ayato wraps an arm around the Gouchier's waist, securing her to him. His love for Yaimiko waxes and wanes, and hers is the very same. They place their utmost faith in the Raiden Shogun, she for whom they will forever and in eternity pine. At this moment, he only thinks in passing of the god he will never truly embrace. He is grounded in subservience to the head Riko of the Grand Narukami Shrine. He is hers to have and to hold. She stirs against him. Ayato feels the moment snap in twain. Such is the nature of all fleeting things. Did I say you could touch me? He answers. He only sees the hint of her 6 tails, for she has seized him by the collar, kissed him. Her electric wrath shocks the fear out of him, leaving him with love only. In the morning, she is gone, and so much of the tatami, the clothes, the room itself must be replaced. Toma works to section off what is salvageable whilst yaeyato pours over letters to the Ashiura Commission. He holds papers in his left, and in his right he strokes an unharmed omamori. Its one side is pink and shares the eye's name, the other side is purple and phrases the Almighty Shogun in fierce kanji. The moments where they are together pass by so quickly, but more will come. That is the nature of a love unarrested by time.